Hey, this is Rod Morgenstein, and continuing on with drum set warm-ups, virtually everything we do on the drum set involves rudiments. Because the rudiments are essentially combinations of single and double stroke patterns. Now, many of the exercises in the book take various rudiments and apply them to the drum set in unusual ways. Typically, for example, we play double strokes on a snare drum. We might accent on toms and cymbals with single strokes, which then would create different kinds of rolls. Or we might play double strokes on the hi-hat. But how about if we do something really different and play a double stroke where each stroke is on a different drum? So I'm going to play double strokes between the snare and the first rack tom, and this would be found in lesson 4, number 22. So very slowly we have this. I'll gradually pick up the speed. This forward motion with the two strokes is very, very awkward. But when things are awkward, what that means is with practice, you are waking up dormant muscles which will really come into play in expanding your technical abilities. Moving on to lesson 24, there are various flam rudiments on this page. And if we take a regular flam, which sounds like this, example number 1, the accented note is played on the first rack tom, and the grace note is played on the snare, like this. Another flam rudiment is a flam tap. It sounds like this. In example 10, the flam tap is laid out on the drum set in the following manner. Another flam rudiment is called a flam accent. Sounds like this. In number 16 of lesson 24, that rudiment sounds like this. Notice the motion of the arms in that example have them both moving outward in this fashion. And the idea is to try to get it as graceful as possible. In lesson 29, this page deals with drags and roughs, and a 3-stroke rough sounds like this. It consists of 2 quiet grace notes, ghost notes, followed by an accented note. And in example number 2, the accented notes are played on the second rack tom, the hi-hat, then the floor, and then rack 1, like this. And finally, can't talk about the rudiments without mentioning paradiddles. Typically, when we play paradiddles, we accent the first note on a tom-tom or a cymbal, and then we play the rest of the paradiddle on the snare drum, like this. But in drum set warm-ups, the paradiddles are laid out on the drum set in a lot of really, really weird, challenging ways. In lesson 5, number 7, the paradiddle follows this format. It's going from rack 2, rack 1, floor, snare. This is the motion. And each single stroke is on a different drum, and the 2 double strokes are on the same drum. So very slowly, you would have this. Those are the 4 paradiddles that would fit in the measure, and then the pattern starts exactly in the same place on the next measure. So that sounds like this. Now, even though most of the patterns in this book are not meant to be cool beats or fills, some of them might actually spur some creativity in you because of the unusual nature of how they're laid out. And this pattern, just like this, could make for a really cool groove simply by playing quarter notes with the feet below it. Check it out.